Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I have another fancy fold card for you. It isn't new, it is new for me in as much as I've not done a video on this before. I came across a video by a lady who goes by the name of 14 Cards and Crafts, and although her video was only about 12-15 minutes long, it was really quite easy to follow. So it was her that I'll give credit to. I mean, there are loads of videos out there, but she was the one that I found helpful to me. So what happens is, it's called a multi-panel accordion fancy fold card. So you open this bit and you open up, and inside you have this. Okay, you've probably seen it before. One of the things I didn't like with versions that I saw quite some time ago was that this piece here was shorter and the design series paper went underneath that bit there, but I've worked out how to do that to make sure it's got the same sort of border as the rest of them have, and obviously I've had to change all the measurements so that it fits. It's suitable for A4 cardstock users. The lady who did the video, she did measurements for A2 cards, so I will put all the measurements for inches for A4 cardstock users and metric in the box below, together with the American sizes for letter size cardstock. Okay, the measurements I'm going to be giving you now will be the inches for A4 cardstock users. Right, the inside of the card I am doing more or less the same. I'm using different designer series paper, different colours, and I'm changing the design on the front as well. I've done as much as I can beforehand without leaving you in the situation where you think, oh my goodness, how does she do that? Okay, it will be step by step as usual, but some of them where they're repetitive, I've done them ahead of time. Okay, so let's start off with, first of all, and that's one bit that I've already done. Right, fresh Freesia, you need two pieces, one that measures 5 3/4 inches by 8 3/4 inches, and another one that measures 5 3/4 inches by 8 1/4 inches. I'll explain all the pencil lines on in a minute. Oh, by the way, let me just show you my prototype card. This was the first one that I made, and this is the A2 size. Okay, so again, the same sort of sentiments and decoration, except I only had two in this one. This design series paper is all from Daydream or something. Just a moment, let me have a look. Oh no, Designer Daydream. This is available as a hostess gift if you place an order over £150 or €175. So yeah, that was my prototype, and that one's the A4 size, so ours comes out a bit bigger than, but they will fit into the regular Stampin' Up envelopes. So I've done those pieces. The next we have the Accordion Pieces, and this is Orchid Oasis. Yep, Orchid Oasis. You need one piece that measures 3 3/4 inches by 9 1/4 inches, and one that measures 8 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Did that back to front, didn't I? But I'm sure you understood that one. Then you need some pieces of designer series paper. Now all of mine is coming from Tea Boutique, and you need 4 of them that measure 2 1/2 inches by 3 1/2 inches, and you need 2 that are 2 3/4 inches by 3 1/2 inches. Okay, now that sizing is important. Then you need 4 pieces of Orchid Oasis that measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches. Then you need another 2 pieces of Orchid Oasis, again 3 7/8 inches by 5.5 inches, 2 of those, and then you need design service paper, which measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches. 2 pieces of basic white that have either been die cut like mine have using the Deckled Rectangles die number 6. If you don't have those dies, you need 2 panels that are approximately 3 inches by 4 1/4 inches. You will need scraps of basic white for your sentiments and any other images you want to use, and also some Orchid Oasis for layering of them. Okay, so I'm going to not rush through this because I don't want to confuse you. What I'm going to do first of all is the larger piece here. Let me just imagine that I'm doing the scoring with you first of all. Okay, I have already done it first. So on this piece you need to score at 4 1/8 inches, 8 1/4 inches. So you've got, this is the piece that's 8 3/4 inches, you get that little 1/2 inch. With the other piece, which I've already done my die cutting from, you just score at 4 1/8 inch. Okay. The other bit of scoring that you need to do, which I haven't done this one, so on the piece that measures 3 3/4 inches by 8 3/4 inches, you need to score at 3 inches and 5 3/4 inches. I'll put all the score lines and everything with the measurements in the box below. And with the larger piece that is 9 1/4 inches, you need to score that at 3 inches, 5 3/4 inches, and 8 3/4 inches. So on this one you've got a little flap there. So I've done those two. Now we need to prepare for doing the die cutting, and that is the bit that I want to show you what I do. Now I thought it would work out perfectly. It doesn't, and I don't know why. But with these 4 pieces, I've already cut 3 of them out, and I made a big mistake with them, which is a good mistake, because if you do the same, it's going to show you how to get out of it. All right. So what I do with this, I want to find with my dies. Let me show you the ones I'm using. I'm using the Deckled Rectangles, and I'm using numbers 6 and 7. And what I did to my dies, I used a black permanent marker pen, and I put 4 lines on the back of each. Those ones are coming off, need to be put back on again. But this is part of me making life easier, where to put your dies down. What you need to happen, now a lot of people just eyeball this, but I don't trust myself. You need to be able to do all 4 of these windows and these 4 frames, and most people just eyeball it, but I can't do that. So I've worked this out, and it really does come up really close to being perfect. So I'm going to show you this first of all. This, I've done it properly on the other side, but I think you can see just down to the bottom there, can't you? Yes. Okay, so this is the ruler that I'm going to be using here, and I have a nice sharp pencil. So what I do, I lay my piece of cardstock so that that dark line goes right through the middle here, and I know number 8 is the middle. So if I do that at 5 1/4, 10 3/4, I know that 8 is in the centre there. So what I'm going, and I make sure that I'm straight down here, and I can't see the dots on that side, so I can't be perfectly straight. There we go. Right, so that one's perfectly okay. So in case I move this, I'm going to put a pencil mark there and a pencil mark there. And then I am going to use my ruler to not necessarily join these two up, but just to draw a line that's about an inch, inch and a half long. Okay, we need the line. We're going to use that black mark to line up on here. Okay, now we need to do the same for that way, and my brain tells me that that should work out perfectly, but it's not. So now I've got this at 1 and, well, it's just short of 2 inches, just sort of 2 inches that side. Make sure I've got the same sort of gap there. Oh yes, that's good, same sort of gap there. That could be a tad. Okay, so there's that one. Pencil mark, pencil mark. Then I can draw those two together. And again, just a line a little way. Okay, you see that? So now on this piece, what die am I using? Fresh Freesia, Orchid, Frames, die 7. So I'm using my bigger one on these. The mistake that I made was I used the smaller frame. So what I had to do is go back and use this one. So I finished up with a very small frame all around the edge and the bigger bit in the middle. So I've already, as I say, already done it on this side. So let's I've got that one lining up with that line at the top there. I can't see my line looking across here. Let me just redo these. I'll do it with my pencil for the time being. So that's just over 3/8, 3/8. Make sure it's straight. I should have brought, oh that's all right, I should have brought a pen over with me, but never mind. Okay, so I'm lining that line up on the pencil line there, that one on that pencil line, that's there, and now I can run that through my Big Shot. Okay, now before I actually get that one sorted, I also need to do this one. That one's done already, so that's fine, and I've already done my pencil marks on here, and I have done these pencil marks exactly the same. The reason I wanted to show you this one is because it's a bit different, because you've got that little embossed line there. So what I do with that one is the embossed line that's coming down here, I make it straddle across that darker line, and then I can do that half and I can do that half. Okay, so there are my lines going across there. When I came to do that one, I lined it up down here. That was the 1/8 short of the proper sizing. Make sure that's straight. And then I used my ruler, and because this is 2 panels here, I drew my pencil line to come across both panels. I think you can see that, can't you? Oh yes, you can. Alright, so I'm going to bring the Big Shot up and do that. What else do I need my Big Shot for? Nothing at the moment, I think. If I need it, I'll get it again. But let's just get these pieces done first. I will show you what I did wrong with the other one, but let's show you a correct one first. And yes, you can welcome back my Big Shot. I carried on using the new magnetic plate for my cut and emboss, but my magnetic plate has finished up, that there is more away from the base than there is actually attached. Now I wonder if you can you see the lines? Some of them you can, can't you? Okay, so this piece I need the larger die, but I'm going to tip this up so that I can make sure that I'm okay. Because although I did the pencils beforehand, I know they're okay. Obviously I didn't cut it first. There we go, so that's that one. Oops. Okay, so that's done. Now hopefully that is going to be the same size as the other ones. We'll check that in a minute. So that was the bigger die, that's number 7. Now for this one we need number 6. And this one the marks have stayed on a bit better, I'm not sure why. Okay, so I'm lining up these two, and then I'll do those two. This is a disadvantage of the Sizzix magnetic plate. It's just got little magnets in circles all over, and if you don't position yourself properly, your die will jump. Make sure that didn't move. You can, if you want, fold this cardstock in half and do 2 pieces at the same time. Okay, save that piece. Let's do this one. You may hear my ceiling fan on the go. We are having some really glorious weather at the moment, and you probably know that my studio is the hottest room in the house, but I don't complain because I don't like cold, and if I ever moan about weather I complain about cold. You can't complain about hot and cold, can you? I think that's got it. That is just the paper moving, not the die. Oh my goodness. I think, oh yeah, look, I put my plate in crooked. Never a good idea. Right, okay, we say that that's done. Don't need that, get rid of that one. The reason I wanted to get a lot of this done beforehand is because obviously we're doing so much in the way of pencil marks. There's a lot of erasing to be done. I'm not sure if I'm using those yet, so if I'm not going to use them for this card, then I can do the erasing later. Just take these marks off. Okay, so there's that one. That one I think I already took the pencil marks off. And there's this one. Actually, I've just had a thought. That one's going to be a bit different from the other 3 that I'll be doing. I have to think about that before I get there. Imagine if you had to sit and watch me do this for all 4 pieces, and well, it would be 8 altogether, wouldn't it? You have time to go make a cup of tea. Bake a cake, probably. Right, there we go. Now, let me show you the other ones of this first. Okay, this was the first one that I cut out, and that was too small. So I went back and I cut that one out. I'm keeping them together because obviously those two fit together. And when I decide which way I'm doing them, I like to make sure all 4 are the same. So keep those. And it means that from those 3, I've got those left over. But this one that was done correctly, I've got a big one left over. Okay, remember that. I might have to find a cure for that one. So first of all, what we're going to do with these, we're going to fold them and burnish. And you need, on the front of the card, you need a mounting fold. And then have a look. I'll show you how close these are to being identical. Okay, you can see, in fact, that's not bad actually. It's not bad at all. In fact, that was better than my first attempt. So that, not going to say too much, but yeah, that's good. Okay, so for me, it's just a lot easier than eyeballing it. So this one needs to be a mounting fold as well. And this one needs to be a valley fold. There we go. Right, now we need to adhere these 2 together. I folded that. Oh no, I cut it the wrong way, never mind. I like to have the impression bit on the front of my card. So I'm going to have to do mine the other way round. I didn't pay attention to that. So that will be like that, and then that's going to be like that, so that the flap is going to be at the back of the card. Okay, so let's do that bit first. I've also got my scrap of paper in case I need to blot my work if I get over enthusiastic with Tombow. Most of today the glue has been coming out really quickly. I don't know, I've never noticed it before, but I do wonder if maybe Tombow gets more runny if the weather's warm. As I say, I've not ever noticed it before. Maybe I've just been heavy-handed today. There we go. Now, I am going to blot that just in case. Keep it round the right way. And make sure that closes. And just give that another burnish. So let's have a look if we fold all of this. See how close they are. Okay, on my left hand side there's a little bit of an overlap there, but it's very small. Okay, so yes, I'm very pleased about that. So if you have a problem, do what I've just done. It's a bit time consuming, but it's worth it. Now what we're going to do now is with these, in fact I'm going to open this right up, we are taking the outer piece. Now don't forget, you've got one piece here, you've got a nice big piece, like, okay, you got that, I got this and a small piece, but these are the same. Now what you need is to pop these on. Now none of mine have looked should we say identical, I suppose, so that it's got the same amount of gap all the way around, same gap up here, but having said that, that does look okay. But what I'm going to do is I like to make sure that the decoration that I've got on that one is going to be the top of all of them. If you're not bothered about that, then just go for it, don't worry. Tombow seems to be behaving itself now. I think this Orchid Oasis is a bit of a funny colour. I don't really think it's a blue, and I don't really think it's a purple. But maybe that's something in its favour. Maybe it'll mean that it'll be easier to mix with other blues and purples. That's not the one I wanted at top, was it? That's the one. That doesn't look too bad, actually. Anyway, they go together nice, so I'm happy with that. So let's do the others. And that's the top one. Got pencil marks on the back. This must have been the one that I did earlier with you. I'm going to be using the same sentiments and images that I put inside the other cards, but I want to do something different for the front. I want to use one of the teacups and some of the plants and things, the flowers. In fact, I think that's probably the only other bit where I'll be using my big shot. That's not the right one, is it? That's better. Just try and line them up so they're got even edges all the way round. See, look, that to me looks the same there, but that's got a bigger bit. Do you think so? Maybe it's just the way I'm looking at it. Right, now the third one. Getting a collection of all these greeny yellowy bits all over the place. Tomorrow we've got a new event with Stamping Up, something I've not done before, and it's a crafting event. It's a 4-hour crafting event for all demonstrators around the world, and it is just crafting, nothing to do with business building at all, which is great because we have so many people who join as hobbyists, or what I like to call savvy shoppers. They join just to get the discount, and they don't want to hear about business things and such like. So this is absolutely ideal. Don't know why Stamping Up never thought about doing it before. It's quite something to get everybody from around the world crafting together, all demonstrators from around the world. There's about 57,000 of us, I believe. Oops. Right, that's the top one. Right, this is the last one. I feel that I've only just sent out the new annual catalogues to all my customers. Next week I'll be sending out the new Christmas mini catalogues as well. I feel a bit disappointed because I still got lots of stuff that I bought from the new catalogue that I haven't had a chance to play with yet. So that's what I'm planning to do. Although when the Christmas catalogue goes live, it will also be the start of the second celebration event that we're having this year as well. So we all like freebies, don't we? Right, just going to give this another good press down. I'm really liking these two colours together. There we go, you get an example of where that's not quite lined up. But not bad, not bad at all. Okay, so that's that piece sorted. I'm going to just pop that underneath my book and we can be working on these two. So first of all, we need to fold on the score lines, Mountain Valley Mountain. I'm not sure it matters which one. It must do though, surely. Not really, not until you put your thing on it. The first one has got to be a valley. Okay, mountain. And then the fold will be there, the little flap. So that goes there. That would be a mountain, that would be a valley. Okay. There we go, it's like a double W, if you like. Let's just give that some nice burnishes. Make sure they're all lining up straight, as always. What I've done for this card is I've picked out 6 different designs of designer series paper, and I've numbered them all so I know which panels they go on, because once we put it like that, although that panel is bigger than that one, we've got to leave a wider gap on that because that's the one that's going to adhere to the actual card frame. So let's get this one glued together first. Obviously the amount of design series papers that you use, totally up to you. Could actually use letters, thinking about it. You could do somebody's name, couldn't you, with 6 letters, or up to 6 letters, because you could always do something a bit different from the other ones. When this is folded, what you should have is a little left over on that side, and if you turn it over, you should have the same on the other side as well. Okay, if you've got that, you've done it correctly. Hold on, I want to valley that one. So put those two together. Now I do have a problem which ribbon I'm going to be using for this card. I may have to go back to using a white ribbon. A bit disappointing, but Right, so what I have done is I've written on the back here 4, 5, 6. I started off writing on the front number 1, 2, 3. Oh, which one did I just... Oh, that's clever. I think that must have been it. Tell by the size. Right. So when you put this one on, and also number 6 down the end there, adhere it so that it's close to this fold, so that you get that gap, because this bit here is going to be glued inside the actual card frame. Now what I did was, because I didn't want to make this one my first piece, I put my number 2 piece on. Just make sure numbers... Yep, that'll be number 3. Well, that's not very good, is it? Look, didn't think about that. I wonder what I did with the design series paper. Can I change my mind? Oh, there it is. I know there was patterns in there that they were dark. I thought they were a bit too dark. But that'd be more visible, wouldn't it? So that one is a piece that measures 2.5 by 3.5. Back to the drawing board with this, 2.5 by 3.5. That's much better, it's a lot lighter. Okay. Oh, no, please, don't do this. Right, that's number 2. So what I think I'll do number 2 and then number 3, then I'll come back to number 1. There we go. This just absolutely disappeared, didn't it? Oh, I must erase that number 3 on there as well. I'll leave it to dry a bit first. That'll remind me. Right, number 1. That's it. I'll bring that down here. See, now I can see that I've got the same sort of gaps there. Right, and now number 4. That's it. So it's 1, 2, 5 and 6 that are the same sizes, and it's 3 and 4 that are the larger ones. No, we didn't want that, did I? That should have been... is that the same size? Okay, I messed that one up. What should have happened, that should have been on that one. The teapot should have been there, and that one should have been there. Never mind. Number 5, not enough for me to worry about that. The reason I say it should have been is because I'd done like a generic design and then a specific pattern, generic design and so on. And number 6. think that's up the right way. There we go. Now, as I say, I'm doing the inside the same, and I've already done these, sort of. You're the Best. I've been using quite a lot of stamp sets here. This one I'm using Stars for You're the Best. It's Your Day. I'm using that for the balloons and that for the string. Flower I'm not using, so put that on. Don't lose it. So let me show you the stamp sets I'm using. Right, first of all, Life is Better with Friends Like You is from Flowers of Friendship. I'm going to be using Birthday Wishes on the design that I'm going to be putting on the front, and that's from Garden Birdhouses. You're the Best. This one here is from Party Puffins. So if you just check your stamp sets, you'll be surprised at how much you've got. Now this one, I haven't actually used this stamp set. I think it's a great idea because you can make your own calendars. But on this I'm using the balloons, one of the strings, the stars and the heart. Oh, Life is Better with Friends Like You. That's what I did with the hearts. Okay. And It's Your Day is from here as well. A great little stamp set, that one. Oops, oops, oops. And this is the stamp set that goes with the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. And I want to do, I'm not sure whether I want to do that and that, or that and that for the front of my card. Okay, so jury is out on that one at the moment. Now before I adhere these together, I'm going to stamp my bits. And the colours I'm using, I think for the balloons I'll do Fresh Freesia. And I was just, oh, that looks a bit, oh no, that's alright. Stamps looked as if they were rather soaking wet with ink. Now I can't get my head right over here, so on a wing and a prayer, well that's alright. And then for a string I'm going to be using Garden Green, which is the darker one here. Crikey, I didn't put that on very straight, did I? Oops. So I'm going to have one string. Now how far can I bring this down? Okay. I think it's that way round. No, that's alright. Not spot on, but that's okay. I'll do this one as well. And hope that they will cross over. Yes, that's good. I like that. This one I said was Stars. So what should we have? Green or the... I think I'll use Fresh Freesia. They're going a bit close to the top this time. Oh, that's alright. And Life is Better with Friends Like You was a heart. There we go. There we go. So let's just stick these. That one I didn't have a layer on it. In fact, that might be a good one to go on there. Yes. Or I'll show you these dies as well, where these are from. Everything will be listed in the box below if I do forget to tell you anything. Right, the dies, I've shown you the Deckled Rectangles, but these are the new beautiful shapes. So this is the big oval, is what I cut the Life is Better with Friends Like You, but there's not anything to layer it with. This one I've used dies numbers 2 and 3. I always start counting smallest die, smaller the number. That's 1, 2, 3. That's 2 and 3, and that is number 2 and 3. Yeah, 2 and 3. I will show you the last dies when I decide what I'm doing for the front of the card. I'm disappointed about getting that thing so crooked. Over. Come on, over you go. Got some glue coming out there. Okay, so we said we'd put that one there. This is why I wanted the different designs in the middle there. In fact, I've done one of these batch front as well, haven't I? Let's do that number 3. Probably because some of them I put the numbers on the front, on the back as well. Oh well, we're not going to worry. At least that would be spaced out, wouldn't it? Like that, I think. I don't pop anything inside my cards up on dimensionals. I just feel that if they're travelling through the post, it may cause some warping with the card. This is a lovely design, isn't it? This little purple flower. In fact, there's quite a lot of designs in this pack that I like. What to do with mine? There they are. If you don't have a demonstrator and you would like to receive a copy of the new Christmas catalogue, email me and I'll send you one. My email address is janb@janbcards.com. Nice and easy to remember. Right, okay, so that's all done. Now we need to start putting our card together. So what we're going to do first of all, I think, is... I put it underneath my book, didn't I? So what we're going to do is we are going to straddle this through here. And that is going to be adhered at the back there, and we're going to leave a nice little blue border there. Let me just make sure I've got my mountains and valleys correct. I know these two are okay. So that's got to be a valley and that's a mountain. Now this is a little bit tricky in as much as you've got to put this one on so it is straight. My first. That one wasn't very straight, was it? Okay, so ideally it's going to look like that because that's a nice gap there, but you've got to do the same at the other end as well. And that, hold on, that one's got to go in there, and that mountain's got to go in there, and that's got to be adhered in there. No, is that right? That can't be right. That one, the valley, oh that's right, yep. I couldn't understand why these two were bigger than the others, because with the other cards I saw, both of those two were the same. I've added this little extra bit on, but I couldn't work out why that was the bigger one. But it's to stop that one there from falling this side or that side through that window. It needs to be bigger. I couldn't work it out, but I decided that I wasn't going to actually try making them all the same size, because I thought if there is a good reason for it and I just haven't sussed it out, I'd be wasting an awful lot of time and a lot of cardstock. So I was going to go with it anyway, but at least I was able to think of, decide the reason why it was like that. Now I wonder if I could use my grid paper on this. Let's have a look. Make sure I'm in shot first so that you can see what I'm doing. So if I line that up on that line down there, and then make sure this is lining up straight there. So that looks right. Let's give that a press and give it a few seconds to get a grip. Otherwise, as soon as you go down to the other end, it's going to start falling apart. So let's do this one. I went a little bit over generous. Oh my goodness, I went a little bit over generous there. Right, now make that straight. Make that straight. So I'm making sure that that's straight along that line. And sticking this down to my grid paper. Come on, let's try that again. Right, straight line. Now move back a bit, you're coming forward too much. There we go. That's straight. Now let's see if it's straight all the way through. I got myself in a tangle last time with this. So that lays flat, this one comes up. Oh, because you've done it. Hold on, what have you done? Unglue that one quickly. You've obviously done something wrong here. So that was okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. see what I've done wrong here. I'll show you as well so you can shout at me, tell me what I've done. It's going through there. That's a valley, that's why. Let's go back that way. That's why you've got this folded the wrong way. That's better. Right, okay. Back to the drawing board. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. There's that. Now what I would suggest you do is take a screenshot of my cards like that. So if you can't work out how to put yours together, find that helps you. So that's a valley, that's a mountain, that's a valley. These two and the middle one's a valley, and these two are mountains. Okay, sorry if I've confused you, but I did that on that one as well. But now that I've done that, that should be closing perfectly, and we now need to sort out this. But before I do that, I need to do something about all this glue. First of all, let's take the tackiness off of that. Now I need to do this bit. Now this I have to be very careful about because it's still quite wet, and if you do use your adhesive eraser when the Tombow is still wet, it's quite easy to tear your paper, your cardstock. Come on, let go. That's it. There we go, get rid of it on there as well. Right, okay. Now what you need to do, you need some dimensionals. Should have, oh here we go, nice big ones. Now first of all, this is the front of your card. You need to put two on there, on the accordion part. One there, one there. I also like to put one there and one there, because I like to channel my ribbon through there, and I don't like it that it could drop top or bottom. Now I'm going over to the back. So where the back is on the inside, I'm going to put two dimensionals, and these are my two to channel my ribbon. Now I've already put my two pieces together, so we're going to pop this onto here, and we're going to use dimensionals for it. Now, all of the videos I've seen have suggested one dimensional in each of the four corners, and that should be enough to support your card, but I'm not so sure. I tend to put quite a few more on. So what I like to do is I put one in the centre there and one in the centre there. So that's that. Got nothing else to support it in the middle. Okay, so that's almost in a diagonal, and that's almost in a diagonal. So I think that's quite well balanced then, because that's that, that, that and that. Yeah. So from the recommended 6, I've gone to 8. That's not too bad. Oh no, because I've got them on there. I've gone to 12. I doubled. That sounds more like me. Right, just make sure I've got the front of the card here. Right, I'm going to stand this up to make sure I get it in the right position. I think that's okay. Just give it a press all over to make sure that you get all of your dimensionals. So we do that again for the other side. So one in each of the corners. So it's for 8, 9, 10, and then I did one there and one there. Let's do these ones first. The fan is rearranging where these covers are going. Oops, another one. It would be so nice to have proper air conditioning, but for us in this country it really wouldn't be worth the expense. Just don't get enough nice weather. Oh, let go. This side needs to come down a bit. That's more like it. Okay, again, press all your dimensionals down to make sure it all sticks. So then all I've got to do now is to decorate the front of my card. Okay, so now, oops. Oh my goodness, look at this, I've got covers all over the place. I think that's a bit of a dimensional there. Oh my goodness, I've got a dimensional there. How come that's happened? Oh, that was one that I put in the corner. I got caught on the cardstock as well. See if you're going to come off. Oh yes, come on. just pop that back down on the cardstock there. This is one of those that I'd put on the corner of my cardstock. So I think maybe it's better to put the dimensionals straight down there. Where else did I think I saw one? This one here. What's that? Right, now can you come off? Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay. Nope. Need to go down a bit. Okay, let's look at that again. Okay, so it stands up really beautifully. Okay, so that's the sort of view that you would get when it's sitting on the shelf. Okay, so decorate this. What I am going to, this is the other thing I wanted to show you. This I put on the back, so that is for the sender to sign on. Now what should happen is I should have a big piece like that, had I cut mine correctly, so that I could just pop that on there. But I haven't, I've got these. So I could either just put that on and then slide that inside there, which would work. But then if I do that, I would like to do that to the front as well, so they both match. So I'm going to put this one on first, I think. So okay, if you use the wrong die to start off with, if it's the, well, if you're using the wrong one, it would have to be the smaller one, wouldn't it, for this bit? So no great shakes. You can get around it very, very easily. On the other hand, if you used the big one instead of the small one on the opening there, that would be a bit of a problem. Okay, so that's that. I think that was at the top there, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, don't lose it. This is why I wanted to keep them together, so I knew which way they were. So by not using the centre bit, at least I can use those for another project. In fact, having done this, maybe you would like to do that. Make my mistake, so you can make this individual frame, and then the bit that was in the middle you could use for something else. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Because that fits in beautifully, obviously. Okay, so I'm going to do the same on the front as well. So I'll take one of those. Don't want the big one, that's a big one. I'll take one of those. And where's my other white one? I'm going to stamp it straight onto that. In fact, maybe I'm not going to stamp straight onto that because I'm not sure whether I've got a, is it a cling stamp or a, oh, thank goodness, it's photopolymer. Okay. So let me see what's, oh, I didn't bring any blocks over. Right, I think I want to use that one. And I will use that. And that. That's about it for those. So let me just get some more blocks. I have that for that one. And that for that one. If you get a floppy one like this, it's difficult to decide how it should be going. Try and let it drop by itself onto a surface. Then it will drop in the right position. Right, the other one wanted was this for the happy birthday. So I've been using this for my writing, and for the teacup, shall we have for the flowers I want fresh freesia, that I think will use garden green. So, okay, I'll do my cup with that as well. Let me just pull my chair back a bit. Right. Bring this down as far as possible. Oh, I need to do it at the top there, don't I? Otherwise, let's do my sentiment first. And you might be able to do it. No, do it at the bottom. Yep, that's good. So now let's do the cup. That's okay. And the leaves, I want garden green. That's good. And then last of all, flowers are going to be fresh freesia. Now these don't actually finish up on stems or anything. You just stamp it so that it looks as if they do. There we go. I'm happy with that. And I think those colours will go nice with the front of the card, look. Mind you, we lose most of the teapots. So again, let's... If I put this one on first, then I can put the frame around it. Oh, and you know what I've done, don't you? I've put this on without putting the ribbon around there first. I should always make sure I get my videos done of an afternoon. That's my best time for videoing. Time now is like early evening. Okay. Which is the top? That is. After a while of using these, you get used to which end you call the top. There we go. Isn't that lovely? So I'm really pleased with that. I don't have time to mess about with this now, so let's just go for some red, some white ribbon. This is some retired stuff. So that's 16. Do about 22, I think. Now, can I do this? I had to rethread one of the others earlier. but it doesn't help having glue on your fingers. Come on. Why can't you go through? Let's see if you go through this way. Well, I don't really think I'm going to make you sit and watch me struggle with this. There will be a photograph on my blog of this completed card. In fact, that's almost nearly through now. And you will see whether it's got a ribbon being tied all around it. In fact, it would help if I looked at the right side, wouldn't it? There we go, there's one side done. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to tie it up like this, and I will complete the job off camera. Okay. So there we go, that's today's project. I hope you like it. Sorry about the confusion earlier on when I've just pulled that one through as well, haven't I? Have I? Yep, you have to be careful of the ribbons. They come out quite easily if you're not paying attention. Okay, so anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you give it a try. Any questions, please put them in the box below the video. I'm always happy to help you answer your questions. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I've used, they will be listed in the box below, and there will be a product code for each of them, and the link will take you straight to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. If you do shop with me because you don't have your own demonstrator to work with, please remember to use the June HOSTESS code so that when I send you Happy Mail at the beginning of July, I can also send you some free product as well. If you've enjoyed my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Click the bell so that you get notified each time I upload a new video. Many thanks for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you next time. In the meantime, please take care, stay safe, and of course, happy crafting. Cheerio!